that you will be thrilled and amazed and find very useful to you in helping you get what you want in your life. First of all, our Unfair Secrets of Ultimate Warriors over half off sale special offer. We've decided to extend that for 30 days. I was going to extend it for a few weeks, and so many people wrote back and said thank you, and just as many people said, can I have a little more time? So we're giving you until May 24th to get the Unfair Secrets of Ultimate Warriors course. That's an extra 30 days. Now, take advantage of this offer. I really do mean that. It's 10 DVDs and 10 CDs covering everything you could want to know. In college, for those of you who went to college, you might remember these things called cheat sheets, like a cheat sheet on Shakespeare, or a cheat sheet on whatever subject you're studying, maybe algebra. Well, essentially, you could think of the Unfair Secrets of Ultimate Warriors as a 10 DVD cheat sheet, although it's not cheating. It's just the real, solid, practical, workable skills and knowledge of the masters to get what you want so simply and easily that it makes it look unfair. Okay, it's a cheat sheet. It basically shows you how to lose weight if you want. It's in there. To get strong quickly and get a ripped physique quickly, if you want that, how to do that is in there. How to make money staying at home working for yourself, that's in there. I believe it's DVD 7 or 8. How to persuade and influence. How to have magnetic charisma. How to have calm, natural confidence, that's in there. Do you want to know how to attract your soulmate? Or how to have peace and harmony and perfect relationships? There's a whole DVD dedicated to the easiest, simplest, most badass and effective methods that work. The how-to is in there. In this course. This is all new information. It's never been in any of my other courses, including how mind control works and how to protect yourself in this day and age. It's all in the Unfair Secrets of Ultimate Warrior course, and each DVD and CD is dedicated to a different subject. So it's organized in a fashion that, let's say you want to brush up on your communication skills and you want to learn how to be a powerful and dynamic and effective speaker. Well, you go to the Warrior Persuasion and Influence DVD, okay, and you can brush up on that. See, we give you exact how-to for body language, for verbal skills. All that stuff is in there, so you can pick the DVD that you want to rock and roll on and brush up on whenever you need to. It's like having me as your private coach right in your living room. Now, I want to talk to you about Warrior Mind Power. Warrior Mind Power and what negative thinking really is, okay? Because negative thinking is a huge poison for most of the population. Negative thinking is a very deep and potent and powerful mystical spell that has been put on people. There's a difference between caution and fear, okay? Caution is when you're walking down the road and you look up and there's a semi coming down on you, okay? And you jump out of the way. Now that's not fear, that's caution. Now you get the fight or flight response and you jump out of the way. Okay? And that is caution. That's not negative thinking. You don't look up and think positively and say, oh, this truck is so nice and I'm sure they'll turn out of the way in time. No, you go, whoa, when you get out of the way just in time. Okay, the same thing, caution. That's not negative thinking. Negative thinking is fear. Negative thinking is when you look at that semi coming down and you say, oh my God, and you just freeze like a deer in the headlights and it smashes over you. Okay, that's negative thinking. And what negative thinking does in every area of your life, from your money making to your relationships to your spiritual health, everything in your life, even your physical health, is all directly related to your thinking. And negative thinking poisons it. It's undeniable. They say that stress is the greatest killer because negative thinking has a mechanism from the subconscious to the conscious mind. And there's a filter there. There's a filter that you have that says that, oh, I'm not negative thinking, I'm realistic thinking. I'm just being realistic. Actually, you're not being realistic. I mean, you could look at it this way. You could look at that semi bearing down, oh my God! And you know what? That's very real. That thing is going to run you down, isn't it? However, when you don't have negative thinking, when you have potentiality thinking and the yi of intention, you go, oh, and caution as you move. It has you move instinctively. It has you move intuitively, jump out of the way, letting your natural higher self and powerful mind take over and move your legs out of the way of that oncoming truck and to go on towards opportunity. Now I'm using a semi-truck bearing down on you as an example, as a metaphor for dangers in life, for negative circumstances in life. Just as well, there are opportunities on the other end that negative thinking is destroying. For example, you may have a creative idea or an insight or an intuition coming from this way, but instead you think, no, that stuff doesn't really work, and so you don't go for it. Instead, you walk away from it, you walk away from the opportunity, and you miss what could have been. Whether it was the perfect relationship, whether it was the ideal scenario for any area of your life, whether it was an idea that would make you rich. It's all in there, okay? But until your thinking is right, you'll be very limited in the choices that you make, okay? So here's the key I'm going to share with you right now that you can use in order to know whether or not something is negative thinking or if it's potentiality thinking. Let's just think optimum, okay? We always want the optimum, the best, okay? When I hit somebody, okay, I use my intention. I don't just hit with my arm. I mean, what is this? How much is that weight? 20 pounds, maybe? No, I hit with my whole body, okay? And I turn my whole body into it, bam! And I don't hit them on the nose. I hit the inside of the back of their head, bam! I smash through optimally. Optimally because I want economy of motion. I want to get the most out of the least amount of effort. Wham! So I'm congruent in my body behind the punch, okay? And in the same way, in life, when we think optimally, then we get the same power and economy of motion. We generate and harness momentum, okay, in our thinking. So I'm talking about our thinking today, and I'm using the punch as a metaphor for a thought, okay? So what we want to do is this. We have a question. Does this serve me? Does this serve me? Does this help me or does this hurt me? That is a question with your thinking. So you follow a thought through to its logical end. Okay? Negative thinking, it slows you down. It slows your momentum down. Okay? Every thought has an energetic influence, just like coffee has an influence. Caffeine has an influence. Fear has an influence. Sex appeal has an influence. Okay? Or have you ever thought of a lemon, a juicy, ripe lemon, and you ever bitten into a lemon and had your mouth water? And just thinking of it would have your mouth water? That's an energetic influence. Now, energetic influence is occurring with thought. So every thought you have, every single thought you have is important. So from now on, instead of letting your thoughts just wander about and lead you, you're going to pull those thoughts in and determine whether or not they serve you. And go, how does this serve me? And you're going to aim your thinking like a laser, like a hose. Imagine a hose on a lawn, okay? And it's just flipping and flopping, okay? Knocking things over, okay? But when you pick up that hose and you control it, you can put out a fire. You can channel that water into a propeller and move a boat across a river, okay? Very powerful. So from now on, I want you to take your thoughts into captivity. Take them and ask this question. Does this line of thinking serve me? Does it help me or hurt me, okay? Positive thinking is not Pollyanna-ish thinking. Potentiality thinking or optimum thinking is not Pollyanna. Oh, everything's so nice. No, I'm not talking about being Pollyanna-ish. I am talking about being optimum, strategic and tactical, maximum capability and optimum thinking, all right? So here's what you're going to do. When you capture your thoughts, when you harness them, okay, and when you use intention, when you have a negative thought, and when you ask the litmus question, which is, does this serve me? Does this serve me? Does this help me or hurt me? What is the energetic influence of this thought? Then if it is not helping you, if it does not serve you, then you cast it out. You push it away, all right? Years ago at my office, a telemarketer kept calling and bothering me. But, he was kind of a nice guy, so I kept talking to him. And finally, he said, look, unless you hang up, I'm going to keep talking until you buy. So I hung up, okay? These thoughts, sometimes they come back on you, and you just need to hang up on them. Because as long as you give the thoughts audience, they're going to keep trying to work in on you. But when you draw your line and say no more, and you hang up on that thought, and every time it comes, you go up and hang up, and you get rid of those negative thoughts that are slowing you down, that are hindering you, that aren't serving you. Okay? Then you get your thoughts lined up and congruent with intention and optimum potential. Optimum potential to get what you want. This is a major factor that's been slowing you down, and I haven't seen it explained this way, but by maybe one or two other people out there. And all of that positive self-help stuff, that's all good and fine. We need kindergarten, we need a white belt, but you know what? It's time to move up to the advanced level so that you can grab this, harness it, and use it on a propeller to propel you wherever you want to grow. Across the ocean of uncertainty, across the ocean of fear of the unknown, so that you can take consistent action. And your actions aren't going to be consistent until you capture your thinking and direct it, because it is a force. Thinking is a powerful force. Okay, everything starts in the inception of thought. Everything you see around you, from your computer to this very video to the shoes you're wearing. Everything, every behavior begins with a thought. So I want you to take a pen, and you should have a pen by now. Whenever you watch my videos, have a pen and take notes. I want you to write down T-bar, T-B-A-R. Okay, T-bar. And it's in that order. Thoughts, behavior, action, results. Thoughts, behavior, actions, results. Thoughts cause behaviors. Behaviors cause actions. And actions cause results. See, when you think on something strongly enough, you'll begin to move toward it. Now, many people say, oh, that positive thinking, that doesn't work. After all, I think about beautiful women all the time, and I'm a guy, and I haven't turned into a beautiful woman. No, and you probably haven't gotten a beautiful woman either. Why? Because you're obsessed, because you're thinking selfishly, because you aren't congruent in mind, body, and spirit. Okay? There is energetic confluence. It's like the yin-yang symbol. It works together. Okay? And if you aren't congruent, then your thinking is going to be fraction like a hose that's loose. So you're going, wham, 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 I want this, I want that. And you're like Pavlov's dog. Capture it. Center it like the center of a wheel and use it like a laser. And once you've done that, once you've asked, does this serve me? Okay? And then if it doesn't serve you, you get rid of it. And if it does serve you, then you ask this question. How can I? Not why. Not why. Why do I never seem to make enough money? Why do I never seem to have the relationships I want? Okay, why? All those questions don't serve you. The question that does serve you is, okay, how can I? How can I? And then from there, you start with the goal in mind, and you look back toward the present, and you write out the steps you took to get there. Now, that's a very powerful, short, 12-second version of timeline therapy to get what you want. Hey, it works. Remember the T-bar, okay? Thoughts, behavior, action, results. And that's the bottom line. That's it. Now, you need tenacity, okay? You need tenacity. Tenacity, okay, makes money. You take an action, and you notice whether it's working or not. When it works, you anchor the result. And when it doesn't work, you change the approach until it does. And then you get what you want. We could go on for a long time, but I want to share this with you right now. If you haven't ordered the Unfair Secrets of Ultimate Warriors course, I'm going to show you one more time. Okay, there's 10 DVDs and 10 CDs in there. Unfair Secrets of Ultimate Warriors. You really owe it to yourself to get this. And we have charts in here and graphs and 1, 2, 3, 4 numbered step by step that you can take to get what you want in any area. Okay, any area. We just put it all together. This is the Mastery course, and it's the best we have to offer. It's the latest and greatest, and it's all new information. So you owe it to yourself to grab hold of it. And it's for sale for over half off. For a few more weeks, we extended it till May 24th. Rock and roll. Grab it. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon. Now, for the rest of this month's membership disc, May 2011, I'm going to share with you some more information about the power of thought. Now, remember, we just discussed the T-bar formula. Thoughts produce behaviors. Behaviors produce actions. Actions produce results in your life. Now, there's a step between thoughts and behaviors, and that is feelings. Now, I kept that out of the other track intentionally because some of that we shared in a broadcast, just a little bit of it. The feelings factor is a crucial step. See, thoughts produce feelings. Remember how I said that if you were to think of a lemon and imagine just lifting it to your face and biting into that lemon, you can smell it and taste it as it's sour and sweet on your tongue. And you may find yourself starting to salivate as you taste the rich juice of the lemon. Now, that's all done through thought. Thought is producing that feeling and that sensation. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought of something and had it cause you to feel a certain way? I'm certain you have. Thoughts produce feelings. Have you ever thought a lustful thought and felt lustful? Of course you have. How about fearful? Have you ever thought a fearful thought? Worried about something and felt fearful? Now let me ask you a question. When you thought about something or worried about something, fearful, did you feel stronger or weaker? Yes, that's right. Chances are you felt weaker. See, thoughts can strengthen us or weaken us. So the power of thought and controlling the power of thought is so vitally important. Here are a few additional practices that you can use in order to control thought. When you can control your thoughts, then you control the feelings you have. When you control the feelings you have, then you'll control your behaviors, the things that you do. You see what I'm saying? Everything starts in thought, so controlling thought and getting the feeling you want is vital. Do you want to feel strong? Then you need to think a thought that's going to make you strong. You could think of whatever your favorite exercise is when you get pumped up. You could think of your favorite spiritual path, whoever one of your spiritual icons or teachers might be. You could think of your faith. You could think of a loved one, of your family. You could think of a place you go where you have ultimate peace. You can even think of your favorite song and the feelings that that song gives you. The important is to have a thought that triggers a predetermined feeling that you want. So if you want to feel strong, what you do is you choose in advance something that makes you feel strong, and then you practice thinking of it. You practice thinking of it when you're surprised, when you're startled. For example, when something happens that makes you nervous, like all of a sudden you get cut off in traffic and for just a moment you get startled because you almost got in a car accident, but you didn't, and you take a breath, there's that fright, and then there's that release, and then I want you to breathe in, strong, I am strong and aware. I am strong and aware. And trigger off the thought. If you can choose at random any thought that you want, predetermined, it's a choice, it's not just a random thought. If you can choose at random a thought. In other words, pick a thought with me. Right now we're going to practice thought control. Because if you can control your thoughts, then you can control your feelings. That means you can control your behaviors. That means you can control your actions. That means you can get the result that you want. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Absolutely. So right now, do this exercise with me, only at home, in a safe and quiet and private place. Do not do this while you're driving. Do this at home. Okay, let's begin. I want you right now to think of something that makes you feel incredibly loved. Go ahead. Think of something that makes you feel incredibly loved, whatever it might be. Is it your father or mother, brother or sister,